Hello, and this is another Reaper Bones. This one is a Barbarian. I will put the name below. And this is for a D&D game that I'm in, and this is Ugrath, the Barbarian. And my idea for him came about because I decided his father had been killed while raging. In D&D, the Barbarian's big ability is Rage, where it allows them to take less damage and they get a few other benefits. So I decided his father was killed while raging, and Ugrath, who is quite intelligent for a barbarian, his intelligence is 13, which is reasonably high. It's reasonably high for a lot of characters, really. Barbarian characters tend to put intelligence rather low. I decided that, no, I wanted to have a smart barbarian. So the idea behind that, just to be different, really. And out of that, with his father killed while raging, Ugrath decided that raging isn't a benefit but a hindrance. It gets in the way of clear thinking, and mistakes in judgment can easily be made, so he doesn't rage. Now the problem that causes with D&D is that all the barbarian's main abilities are connected to rage, so I've hindered his progress a little by doing so. His axe is Skull Splitter. It has been enchanted by a mage, and the only enchantment it has is when he finds the one who killed his father, it will capture his soul within the blade. And I got that idea because on the actual blade there's this face, this really angry face that's actually part of the face of the blade there. So I got the idea for it from that. So he's roaming the world looking for the killer. Didn't have a good first outing. He couldn't hit anything. Lots of bad rolls. But it's a good, fun figure. From the figure side of things, there was very little cleanup. There's a mold line that runs over the center, but on mine it wasn't very pronounced and it was very easy to sand off without losing detail. And I went with a more subdued palette this time. I went with there's red on the leather helmet, the leather pants, and I included a little bit of red mixed into the flesh. Other than that, I stayed very subdued with the browns, and the steel isn't coloured, it's just straight out steel. I often mix various colours together when I'm doing steels, just to give it a bit of a different sort of feel sometimes, but I went this time with pretty much straight out steel. And he was great fun to paint. He's an awesome figure, really, because he sits in this sort of great middle zone, and in there you can either do loads and loads of detail if you want, or you can keep him basic. And I love that because it lets people of different skill levels really approach it in different ways. And some figures are really complex, and that can be tricky for a beginner still to do anything with. Even when he's done, they can feel that maybe it's not up to the standard they really wanted to. And the joy of these sort of figures is, I think it's easier to get that standard because you can just paint solid steel. You can just paint the pants and the jerk, and there's not a lot of stuff on him, but there's the right amount. There's enough detail that when you're working on it, you feel that you're having fun, that you're working on stuff, you're actually moving forward, and there's progress, but there's not too little where you're feeling that you're just ripping through it really quickly, or too much that's taking forever. This figure is almost in that sweet spot for me. Experienced painters can spend a lot of time and make him look really good. Beginners can have a crack at it, keep to more solid colours, and still come out with something that's going to be cool. He was priced around $279, I think I paid it was. I added one of the plastic bases I had, which is also from Reaper, and that's just because in D&D you're always moving the figures, so that can be very tippy and knock over rather easily. There's a lot of weight in his axe, and that was really where it was. If you bumped him, he tended to fall forward on where the axe is. So this way it gives him a bit more stability. But it's a great figure. There is a lot of detail on the armour, especially different. You can do different panels if you really want. I didn't. I just went mainly all the steel the same colour and in the same sort of areas. But there's enough different panels there that if you wanted to go a bit crazy with it, you totally could. For the money, I really can't praise this figure enough. There's more complex Barbarians available out there. Companies like Avatars of War and that do some amazing figures, but they come with a price to match. This was $279, so you just can't go wrong with these bones, really. Especially if you're a gamer, because you'll get lots of figures onto the table for a small price, and you've got to respect that. We as a gamer, we need all sorts of different things, both characters, and if you're GMing, you want beasties and things for your players to go up against. And if you spend $20 on Reaper, you're going to walk away with a handful of figures, and that's going to help your game. So I can't really recommend this enough. Is Trista, the female warrior. Now, I've just got back from Wednesday night D&D with the boys, which is great fun. I've actually really enjoyed getting back into D&D and playing. I've been playing 2 to 3 times a week at Wood for Sheep, and it's a good bunch of guys there. I've decided to paint this one pink, and I'm going to approach it realistically. Well, realistically in a 28mm figure. But the inspiration for this came from Bubbles, who has a Goliath who opens lots of doors with his head. His armour is pink, so I thought that I'd have a crack. I've never done pink armour, not because I think it's silly or anything like that. It's just I've normally been painting figures like Rangers and things like that, so I've kept to very sort of traditional woodland colours and things like that. I haven't really stepped out too much and done sort of more, not exotic colours, but things that you wouldn't expect. So I thought, you know what, yeah, why not? So this is going to be a pink paladin, just for the hell of it. So that one's coming up. Anyway, thanks for watching.